I'm back again. So in my other video I was talking about building your immune system. So my son, he started school this year. He had been homeschooled for 8 years due to some health issues. And so this past year he went to school the last 3 months of the year. In those last 3 months he was sick. At least 3 weeks he was home from just 3 months of school. Within the third day, day 2, he said, I can feel it. I'm getting a sore throat. Day 3, anyway. So what we're trying to do while he's home at summer is build up that immune system so that at the end of August, when school starts, he is not sick as a dog. So I told you before that he is taking cranberry, but bee pollen, believe it or not, is like a super antioxidant that helps your body build its immune system. You take 4 of these a day, 2 at breakfast, 2 at lunch. And another thing I remember so much was my oldest son, he got stung by a bee when he was like 6 or 7, and he almost died. I can remember the day like it was yesterday. We were at a picnic. He was playing. All of a sudden he came over. He had his hands in his face and he was crying, screaming, crying. And I was like, cut it out. And I took his hands away from his face and he looked like the Marshmallow Man. His whole face was huge. I panicked. I had never seen anything like that before. But thankfully, one of my cousins was a nurse and she just totally took over. She took care of him. She kept his airway open, and we got to the emergency room. But after that happened, I went to a naturalist, and one thing they told me to try was bee pollen to help him become less allergic to bees. So he, to this day, is 30 now. He is still terrified of bees because that was such a traumatic experience. So terrified of bees that one time I was driving and a bumblebee flew in the car and he jumped out of my car while I was driving. I kid you not. I was probably only going like 10 miles an hour, maybe 15. The child, probably 11, jumped out of my car because of the bee. So really, he was more afraid of the bee than getting hurt jumping out of the car or ran over by another car. So I used bee pollen to help him not to be stung by, not to be allergic if he got stung again. I don't think he was ever stung again. So I can't tell you if it worked, but I know that that was something. You could actually go and get shots of bee venom to help you overcome it, but I think I might have done that too. It's been a long time. I think he went for some shots and he took this for years. And back then I didn't know that it helped build your immune system. So that's just a perk knowing now that it helped his immune system. And I gotta say that he has really never been sick. He's 30. He's had very few illnesses, does not get colds much. And in my opinion, and I'm not a doctor or anything, but what we do in our younger years for our health actually affects what we are in our older years. So if you feed your kids well and they eat good and they're get the proper nutrients and whatever they need, I feel like my older son is so healthy. The poor thing, I was like a health food nut back then. No potato chips. He did have chips, but they weren't fried and they were made out of vegetables. And I remember my friends used to be like, oh, poor Kenny, let's get him some chips because his mommy doesn't let him have any. People felt like he was neglected because he was living on juices and natural food. And yeah, people thought, poor baby, he doesn't get this and get that. But definitely, he's a pretty healthy human being at 30, so I'm sure he doesn't realize it, but that's probably why he's so healthy. So, and my son, my youngest, he's going to be 17, and he has autism, so getting different foods in him is not very easy. Now, putting it in a pill and making him take it, that is easy. But he doesn't eat greens, but he will drink them if I juice them or put them in a smoothie, and he will drink what I give him, but definitely not going to sit there and eat a salad, but he will drink them from me. But anyway, so bee pollen, good for possibly helping you or your child with allergies, bee allergies. Also, definitely helps to build your immune system. So for us this year, for my son, we're using the bee pollen and we're using cranberry to try to help build his immune system so that at the end of August when he goes to school, hopefully he will not be getting as sick as he did last year, because that's a lot. I actually, in the 3-month period that he was in school, we went over what the school system allows. You know, you're only supposed to be out of school so many days. We went over that in 3 months because he was sick. Now, granted, he was at the doctor's. He might have had his tonsils out too in that period as well. But I didn't get any trouble, but I did get letters about that. But I saved myself by always taking him to the doctors and always having some kind of notification or paperwork so that if they come after me, I'm like, look, he was really sick. He went here, he went there. But yes, in 3 months, he missed more school than he was allowed in a whole year. So definitely give this a try. I do want to say one thing. When I opened them the first time, they smell so good. And they still smell so good. And I think what I'm smelling in there is nettle. Something nettle. Stinging nettle. That might be it. It smells so good. So when you open up yours, you're going to smell it and you're going to be like, wow, it smells great. So give it a try. Definitely, if you want to do research, the bee pollen is great in building your immune system. So we will let you know. Cordell starts school at the end of July. It could be like the first week of September this year. I haven't looked to see when he's going to be starting, but I'll let you know. Hopefully this will have helped him not to get sick like he did last year. But man, they smell so good. I can just, probably because it's on my fingers, definitely smells fantastic. All right, I will put a link down below where you can find this and give it a try. They have a guarantee, so I love companies that have guarantees, because this way you can try it, and if you're unhappy, you're going to be able to send the product back and get your money back. So, all right. Thanks for watching. Mm-hmm.